Hello and welcome. My name's Marie and this is my yarn journey. Today, it's been my first week back at work this week and still been feeling a bit under the weather. I'm way better than I was. I've got loads more energy. I'm getting back to the usual day-to-day stuff, but I haven't got that much knitting done this week and I've only really worked on one project. So I thought what might be nice to do in this week's episode is to talk you through what's on my needles at the moment and do sort of a WIP Parade, being that it is January, it's the start of a new year. Obviously I'm thinking of doing fix it, finish it in February. Excuse me. And yeah, so I thought that would be a good thing to do and remind myself of what projects are on the needles. Then I can be having a think about what I want to work on next. I do want to say that I've done nothing on this week, I don't think, since I showed it you last weekend, but I think I've decided that what I am going to do is I'm just going to pull it back and start again. It wasn't too hard of a knit, hasn't taken me that long. It's DK weight. There's only 3 bands of colour work. I know I've done 2 here, but I know what mistake I've made, and I just think if I carry on and it looks a mess because I haven't bothered to pull it back, I'll be unhappy. And then to frog a whole garment will be absolutely ridiculous. So this is the Hawley sweater by Sarah Solomon. If you haven't seen it on my podcast, I am using this yarn, which I am enjoying knitting with. And I'm also using this yarn, but for some reason, I seem to have misplaced my tags for this. They must be somewhere because I've got another ball of this. Which is probably, so the tags to these are probably in the bag. It's the one I got in Rome anyway. So yeah, I think that's one thing that I'm going to do this weekend. I'm just going to rip it back and then immediately get it cast on again. And then hopefully I can crack on a bit more with that. This is in one of my all-time favourite project bags that I got last year from Vanessa at my Creative Garage. Her bags are beautiful. She's a very talented seamstress. I'm just going to pile these down here. I should have got my basket out and I just thrown them back in, couldn't I? Because it always ends up that there's a big clean up at the end of video. So doing the podcast or any sort of video, you've got the time it takes to record it, then you've got the editing, and you've got the cleanup as well, and you have to find a quiet moment to record. So yeah, it is a bit of a feat to get one done, really. Okay, so the next one is in this Willow Bay bag, and I cannot remember which one. Oh, is this my mittens? Yes. So done nothing on these, still at the same point. Would have been ideal to have these finished right now because the weather in my part of the UK has been absolutely freezing cold. I mean, it was -7 this morning, which is unheard of for us, and defrosting my car has been a battle. But these would have been ideal. By the time I get them finished, it'll probably be summer. Thing what's put me off with these is the thumb, which is rather annoying because they didn't take me that long to knit and they've turned out beautiful. I'm just worried that I'm going to do the thumb and it's just going to ruin them, I think. But they are done in these 2 beautiful yarns, which are DK weight from Bird Street Yarns. And it's a set that they were doing, which was a mitten mix, and you got 250-gram skeins. And it's 75% merino and 25% nylon, 112 meters in each skein. Okay, and it's been a while since I've worked on these. I have a half finished object which you've already seen, and that is these socks. And I think the problem was they they turned out too big. They're absolutely beautiful, not too big, they're a little bit baggy. But I have cast on the second sock. And I think I've decided to change needle size for the second sock, but it's been that long since I have knit on these that I really cannot remember. So this is from Lizzie Bird Yarns. It's a really beautiful yarn, pretty colours. 100 grams is 425 metres. It's a sock 25 superwash merino and 75% superwash merino and 25% nylon. It's Victoriana. I think she had that colourway again this year as well, because I got that last year. Yeah, and that pair of socks is a Summerlee pattern. It's the colourwork cuff, and I think it was the first one, so that will have been August. Really pretty colourwork pattern, but just really am struggling with my colourwork socks, and it's just put me off doing them at the moment, because my colourwork just seems to be, that the colourwork is too tight to get around my heel, but then the sock's too big for my foot and is baggy. Hopefully one of these days I'll figure it all out and be able to just easily knit the perfect pair of socks. And the only way to do that is to keep practicing, isn't it? Now this is a very old WIP. I'll just show you the bag it's in first. This project bag is one I got from Woolly Good Gathering. I have no idea who this is by. It was on a random stall that had lots of bits of bags and stuff on there from different people, if I understand it right. And this one, which looking at it now makes me think, oh, I really want to crack on with that. This is the Nuss Light. Absolutely adore this yarn that it's been knitting, and this is from the Woolly Good Gathering as well, and it's a ginger twist yarn. I should have the tag in here somewhere. Yep, it's Ginger's hand dyed sheepish sock, and the colour is Montrose, and 100 grams is 365 metres, and it's 80% superwash Blueface Leicester and 20% nylon. Yeah, it's going to be a lovely top, this, once it's finished. Seems to be some sort of yarn tangle there, which doesn't look good, but I have got all the yarn in this bag as well as the project, so it's going to be quite nice to get that finished, or work on it again, should I say. Now we're getting through the piles. This is a Willow Bay bag. Oh, the only projects that I've not brought here is my 2 blankets. But I've not made any progress on my advertisement since you've last seen it. And we discussed that already. So, in this bag I have got Mum's slippers. Here is my half finished objects. This is the first slipper that I knit up. Looks really funky. Hasn't been blocked, but it does actually fit her, which is good. And then here's the start of the second sock. I'm just at the point now where I need to knit straight for about 30 rows before I do the next part of the shaping. Once I pick this up and get cracking on it, it shouldn't be too long before it's done, but I've just not been in the mood for knitting it, to be fair. I've only been in the mood for one project at the moment, and like I say, I've not done massive progress on that either this week. To be fair, I've been catching up on the cleaning and doing a bit of spring cleaning and decluttering since being ill and stuff, and you know, you get behind on these things, don't you? Okay, so this is a hefty one, and this is a Willow Bay bag again. And if you've been watching my podcast for any length of time, you'll know what this is. I've got all the yarns in here for this project. It's got everything in it. It's a pretty big bag. Now, this isn't too far off being done. But unfortunately, the sleeve turned out a little bit too snug for my liking. Now, I had a thought the other day, because I'm probably going to pick this up in February. I would love to have this finished, because I think I'm loving how it's turned out with the, I'll show you what the yarns are. So this is my main yarn, Bilkalana Peruvian Highland Wool, which is lovely. And I am doing that with my advent from last year, which is For the Love of Yarn. And it was all these beautiful brights. Against the dark, I think it's just turned out beautifully. Yeah, it is turning into a lovely garment, this, but it's just the problem with the sleeve has put me off it. Surprise, surprise, I actually cast this on in January last year, can you believe it? I knew what I wanted to do with my advent, so yeah, and I was very excited, but when I tried this sleeve on and it was a bit snug, I was quite concerned. But I think I may have blocked it. So I think what I need to do is try it on again. Did I block it? Yeah, I'm sure I did block it. And you see, that's the thing, when you leave a project for so long, you don't really know what you've done with it, do you? But I clearly have blocked it because I've got it on a cord here. I think I need to try it on again. If the sleeve is still as snug as I thought it was and I'm not happy with it, I think I need to just ignore this sleeve, start the next one, knit it slightly bigger, so I'll probably pick up the amount of stitches for the next size up in the pattern. It does say that you can do that. It's a recommendation. So I might well do that, do my button band, and then I might well come back and pick this out, hoping I've got enough yarn. I think I'll be much more happy if I can make the sleeve just slightly looser, and it means that the finished garment will be better. I don't want to just go ahead with this and end up sending it to the frogging fairy again, because I'm at a point here where I can do something about it. It might be quite annoying to rip out that sleeve and try and sort it out, but I think in the long term it's better to fix it now. Oh, sorry about that. Better to fix it now and sort out the project, rather than, if I know at this point I'm not happy with it and I've even blocked it, then yeah, I think that's what I need to do. I just need to be brave and just rip it back. Or well, like I say, I'm going to try doing the sleeve the next size up and see where I am with yarn after I've done that, because it may be that I run out of yarn. Hopefully not, but we shall see. Okay, and this is a project bag that I got in a yarn swap. So I'm not sure who this is by, but it's a lovely festive one with festive sweaters. And the yarn that I'm using for this is one that I got at Woolly Good Gathering. It's a For the Love of Yarn, and this one is a camel silk 50 and 50 sock, 50-50 sock, and it is 533 meters, and the color is Harris And I've not done any on this for absolutely ages. My original aim was to get it done for Christmas, but that's just not happening. I've still got a hefty amount of yarn left. Looks like I might be getting into a yarn tangle, unfortunately. Got this lovely little castle view progress keeper on this one. And these are the needle stoppers that I've got on there. My autumny ones, which does go very, very well with the colour. It's knitting up lovely. This will be a lovely scarf once it's finished. My partner did request for, I made lots of suggestions, but he just wanted a simple scarf. So that's what I've gone for. And to be honest, I had a few times when I wasn't well where that would have been ideal to pick up, but I totally forgot that I had it on the needles, to be honest. I'm getting down to the last few projects now. The next two are very recent and you will have seen these. Again, no progress made on this one. This is, oh, who's this by? I can't remember her name. Anyway, lovely bag, and I love these for socks, a perfect size. Use this one all the time and haven't stopped using it since I've got it, I don't think. Just find it easy to use. And this is my gingerbread house yarn that Mona got me for Christmas, and I am doing the Mermaid Avenue socks by Summer Lee. Loving this pattern, having so much fun doing it. Just is one that I need to concentrate on, and I haven't really been in the mood for it this week. Still got my Christmassy new stitch needle stoppers on. Hopefully I'll be able to get back on with this sometime soon, but I think I'm probably going to get my other socks finished first, which is the next ones that I'm going to show you. And these are my Hibernating socks by Summer Lee. And it's this lovely faux cable pattern. And these are knitting up lovely. As you can see, I've made quite a bit more progress on these. I've got these needle stoppers, I keep saying stitch stoppers, needle stoppers on that I got from Botanical Yarns, and my little Castle View gingerbread stitch marker. These are so easy to do. I don't even have to look at the pattern now. It's a 4-row repeat. 2 of the rows are just knit the knits, purl the pearls. When you first start the pattern, it does look a little bit daunting. I'm loving how they're turning out. I'm loving how the yarn's knitting up. It was exactly what I had in mind, something like this that I wanted to do. So I'll be really, really happy once I can make a bit more progress and then cast on my next sock. This is in the Cocoon Tree bag. I got this at my first ever yarn dale. Perfect for sock projects, and it's lovely fabric, very luxurious, these bags. And the liner, I'll show you that. The liner is absolutely stunning. I think that's what sold me on it, really. The hidden pattern inside. Okay, there's literally 2 projects left to show you, and I feel like I've got through these quite quick. You probably will have seen most of these before, so it's what it is. It's what's, you know, it's good to take stock sometimes, isn't it, and see, like, this is where I am now. Where do I want to be going forward? Okay, and this is in another one of my creative garage bags. I absolutely love this bag. I use it all the time. Again, her bags are fantastic quality. Definitely a talented seamstress. Now, this project you have not seen it's been hibernating for quite a while. And it's the Calm Down Cardigan by Lily Kate France. And I'm using an Isla yarn to do this. And it is Easedale, which is 70% baby alpaca, 20% silk and 10% cashmere, and it's a DK weight. Now, I got to a certain point in this pattern and I then was a little bit unsure if I was using the right fibre blend for this and if my armholes were too deep because of the drape of the fabric. Now, I've absolutely loved the process of knitting this up. The yarn is a dream to knit with, absolutely adore it. And it's going to be a stunning cardigan. But first of all, I'm a little bit concerned about the deep armholes, but it is part of the pattern that they are supposed to be very deep. When I checked I think I was 1 stitch off on gauge, and I think I was very close to row gauge as well, so it's not my gauge that's causing that issue, I wouldn't say. But yeah, I think I was a little bit concerned because she used 100% wool in her sample, and therefore that's what she's based her passionate pattern instructions on, that fibre content. But can I try it on? Probably could do. Let's see if I can get it over here and show you. This might be a very bad idea, to be honest, but we shall see. Covered in dog hairs, sorry. Vinny decided to jump up just before I was going to be recording. Maybe putting this on over a jumper is not a good idea, and I don't know quite how long my cable is, but here goes. No. Yeah, maybe I need to put it on a try-on tubing rather than having it on such a small cable. But let's see, if I take one arm out, I can probably show you. I'll spread my stitches out a bit at this side, pull my hair around. Okay, not the best try-on ever, and it's hard to see how it's going to lay, but can you see how deep that armhole is? Little bit concerning, especially if you're comparing this, the armhole depth of this compared to the armhole depth of, see, that's what we're working with. I don't know how well that shows up on camera, but other than that, it's knitting up beautifully. The fabric is gorgeous. I love this yarn. I just so want this to turn out. It's like, I feel like it's going to be one giant hug, this cardigan, when you wear it. But again, I think I will have to be super brave, and if it doesn't turn out, then there's no way that I'm letting that yarn go to waste, because that yarn is stunning. Basically, it's one of the best ones I've ever used. Absolutely love it. Okay, and my final project is the one that you've seen very, very recently. It's my newest cast on, and I'm having an absolute great time knitting this. This is the Mudo by the Petite Knitter, and I am doing this in an Ula and Leah main yarn. Just let me reach over and get my tags. Keep almost missing my seat. Can you imagine if I end up on the floor? So I know you probably already know this, but it's natural platinum DK. It's an undyed. It's a 100% yak wool from free range yaks in Mongolia. And this is 196 meters in 100 grams DK weight. Now, it's a real pleasure to knit with. It's a lovely sturdy feeling yarn. I do think, and it's soft, I do think that it has still got a bit of the spinning oils on, so probably it will soften up some on blocking. In this design, I have gone for this lovely bright neon flamingo, it's called, from, I think it's Woolly Mama, and I got that at Yardale, and it's a very simple colour work design. And I was just looking at my colour work looked a bit funky there, but it's not, it's right. This is, yeah, a very basic colour work pattern, and it has 5 repeats of the colour work in the yoke, and I am on section 4, so I'm very close to being at the end of the colour work. Once I've finished the colour work, this will be very, very plain sailing. It will just be stockinette. I think this is the first circular yoke that I have done, although I have got the Nusslite on the needles, but I haven't finished that yet. You'll all be screaming at me because I still haven't tried this on. But yeah, I need to do that soon, don't I? I'm sure I said last week I was going to try it on, but I just haven't gotten around to it. That'll be one of the tasks for this weekend, no doubt. And yeah, that was the last project that I had to talk to you about. I'm not sure how long this episode has been. I feel like I've got through them quite quick. For me, that's relatively a low level of WIPs, although I'm much happier with the amount of WIPs I've got there. And there's not lots and lots of big projects. If I can get these down a bit more in February, will be great. Like I say, I'm trying my best to, as part of my goals, do the one cast on the first. I want to cast on 1 garment each month and 1 pair of socks. The idea being that that will mean I can use up quite a bit of my stash. I have been logging my stash. I'll do you an update on that actually, because since I last spoke to you, I have updated my stash spreadsheet. So I've got a spreadsheet now on my iPad with all my information in. Now, I think it was around 75 or 76 skeins that I managed to knit through in 2024. Pretty impressive amount. I cannot believe I've quite done that, but I did knit quite a lot of garments last year. And when I've added everything in here now, so far in this spreadsheet I've added in my garment or top, all the quantities that are separated out into Ziploc bags in my stash, ready to make a Pacific project. Then I've also added all my single skeins, and I've added my advents. Other than that, the only thing that I've not added to this spreadsheet at this moment is I have a big bag that has cotton yarns in. And there's a couple of them which were earmarked for a project, but most of them are just waiting to be used. I don't know when I'll get around to doing that bag, but it's not a priority right at this moment. But when I've totaled up my stash, bearing in mind that I have knit through 75 skeins approximately this last year, I have about 3 years worth of stash. The only problem is that when I first started out back on my knitting journey again, and you know, made friends with Mo, and we went off to my first yarn festival and things like that, and in my first year or so, I'd say, of knitting or being back at knitting, I made some poor decisions when buying yarn. First of all, I was going to local yarn places, yarn stores, and there isn't really any around here that have any nice yarns really. We have Abercan, which is like a fabric and yarn and craft store, and they do have some okay yarns in, but not a vast choice. And I bought quite a few bits from there. And then after that, when I discovered, you know, the online community and all the nice yarns and what was available to me, I then did buy quite a lot of single skeins rather than buying in mind for a project. And especially that was quite bad when I went to my first yarn deal, because I was a bit like a kid in a sweet shop. Oh, that, and I kept buying all these single skeins. So I'm hoping with doing one pair of socks that will help me work through the single skeins. It's difficult to think what to use all those single skeins for, and find projects that are going to be useful. I will end up using a few more of those probably for gifts. Some of them are in mind for a couple anyway, are in mind for my partner. But yeah, to think that actually in stash I've got about 3 years worth of knitting is quite something. And that's only if I continue at the rate I did this year. I may not do, I may knit less next year, but I'm going to be keeping a record of it, like I've said. And I'm not on a yarn ban. I won't ever put myself on a yarn ban. I've still got a couple of things coming in, which I've already told you about, but I want to be mindful that I'm buying yarns I love, and I am making better purchasing decisions, and that I'm not buying willy-nilly. I've got lots of lovely yarn in stash that I actually want to knit through, and yeah, I don't want to, again, I know I've said this recently before, but it's on my mind. I'm at capacity really for the amount of yarn that I can store, and it to be semi-organised. I would hope that I can get to the point where I have just got the 2 baskets with the yarn in waiting to be used. That would be my ideal. But there's so many tempting dyes and yarns and everything out there to try. I want to also look at trying, as I get through more of my stash and later down the year, hopefully, I want to try a lot more commercial yarns. I want to find reasonably priced, affordable, but nice commercial yarns, like the black that I'm trying in my Holy sweater. I'm quite enjoying knitting with that, and I'm going to look forward to seeing how that is when I wear it for pilling and all that sort of thing, and how it lasts. And yeah, I just want to I want to try Cascade in a garment. I've not tried that yet. And yeah, there's just I want to be more mindful of not buying as many mystery yarns, and I don't think I may get one advent next year, but I don't want more than one really. And I don't know if what I might actually do is just make myself a 4-week advent, but know that those 4 skeins are skeins that I've picked out through the year, wrap them up and put them ready for me to cast on socks throughout December. I'm also thinking of making my own little, refilling the advent calendar that Mona got for me last year, and making myself up a little daily one, because if I do it early enough, if I make it up now from stuff that I've got in stash, I won't remember come December what I've put in there, and it'll be a nice surprise each day, and I'll still be able to knit through my incredible blanket in December, which I love doing. AJ also sent me an absolutely beautiful card with some lovely kind words in. She's been a great support of the channel, and she sent me a couple of yarns which I am really looking forward to knitting into my blanket, and she made me a beautiful Christmas tree ornament which I have put away safely with my Christmas ornaments, and I can't wait to put it on the tree next year. And hopefully, if I'm still on YouTube by then, which I'm sure I will be able to show you that. But yeah, I just thought that was very, very kind of her to do that for me. And I think that's everything I wanted to talk to you about today. Apologies that I haven't made much progress with my knitting, but it's just been one of those weeks this week. And hopefully this weekend I can get to the end of the colour work on this, and also, like I say, I'm going to pull back and cast back on the Hawley sweater, because I want to be making sure I'm doing that. Anyone else doing fix, frog, what's the other F word? Oh, fix, frog, finish. Why could I not think of that? So fix, frog or finish in February is what I am aiming to do. I will still cast on possibly something new at the beginning of February. But my main aims for the month of February is remembering that even though I am going to be casting on one garment, one pair of socks each month, I do not need to have them finished in the month. I just want to be mindful to be getting through the stash and rotating stuff. But in February, a lot of my time and energy is going to be focused on finishing a lot of these projects that are nearly done, fixing my rocket tee, and definitely tackling my Daft Days cardigan by Rebecca Clow. I don't even know if I told you that that was the pattern, but yeah, that is what my plans are. Is anyone else going to be tackling the languishing whips or fixing stuff in February? I'd love to hear what you're planning on doing if you're going to do that. Anyways, I will leave you there. There's nothing much more for me to say. I think I've rambled on enough, and I will see you next week. Hope you have a lovely, lovely weekend and get plenty of crafting and knitting done. See you in the next one. Bye.